Good evening, everyone. I'm having some slight difficulties here with my face cam. I'm going to try and get that up and going here. But, how's everyone doing tonight? Hope you all are doing well. Hey, there I am. Cool. Sorry for being a little bit late tonight. I just had to grab a couple things to get myself sort of ready here. So tonight we're going to be doing some work on my scratch build for the Hopewell Junction, New York Depot on the former Central New England / New Haven Railroad's Maybrook line. So I've got the scale drawing here, got my scale ruler out, and I've already cut out one wall. And we're gonna kind of just cut out some of the pieces here. So this is my first time building a structure out of wood. I've done a couple structures now in styrene, and a couple out of styrene, a couple out of what's it called? Like task board, chipboard kind of material. This is my first time using wood, and this is Northeastern Scale Lumber's product. This is their board and batten, I think 16th inch between the battens. So that's what I'm using from the walls here, because it's a board and batten siding building. But in order to show you, let me pull up. Transition here. So these are some pictures of the depot as it stands today. So it was built in 1873, and then it was actually moved about, I think, 200 feet to its current location, lifted off of its old foundation and moved onto a new one in 1904. I want to say 1903 or 1904. I don't remember the exact year. But it was done to allow it to serve both the Poughkeepsie and Eastern and the Newburgh, Dutchess, and Connecticut. I believe those are the two railroads. I know the Newburgh, Dutchess, and Connecticut was one. I think the Peony was the other. I can't remember for certain, but I believe it was the Poughkeepsie and Eastern that came through as well. But when Hopewell Junction became an actual railroad junction between two main lines, they moved the depot in order to serve both stations, or both rail lines. So this is it was active as a junction up through, I want to say, trying to think of the year here. So 1938, they pulled up the tracks to the north, so actually the tracks that would have continued off this direction, and those continued up through Dutchess County into southern Columbia County, and then across the state line into Connecticut, northern Connecticut. They cut that line back in 1938, leaving just the Maybrook main from Danbury, Connecticut in the east to Maybrook, New York in the west over the Poughkeepsie Railroad Bridge. And then they had the branch line to Beacon, New York, cutting south from there. Excuse me. Actually, I should pull up the Google Map view. Let's see. Where am I? I'll zoom in down here. That's Sterling Scout Reservation. So I need to come. There's 84. So I need to actually go west. There's the Hudson. Okay, here we go. Now I know where I am. So here's Beacon. Here is the Hopewell Depot. Let me turn on satellite view, and I'll show you real quick. get some backstory here before we get into the building of the structure itself. So this here is the Hopewell Depot, right here. Today you have the Empire State Trailway / Dutchess County Rail Trail, which is on the former Maybrook line. And you used to have, you still have this rail line here that was basically the switch line that went down to Beacon in the southwest and Danbury in the southeast. And you can actually very clearly see where the two rail lines cross. Hey, Andy. Welcome in. Glad to have you. I'm just going over some basic information here about the depot, showing off kind of where it is situated and so on. So it was originally a full diamond right here. It's actually a pair of diamonds right here. The one line continued from Beacon north, and I believe that was, you can still kind of see the right of way in a lot of this, even though it's been almost 100 years since the rail line was pulled up. You can still see the right of way through here. See it kind of curving up through here. It's very interesting how these ghost railroads still exist, but we're not going to go too much into that. So I'm focusing just on the depot here, and then obviously the east-west, like I said, was the Maybrook line. So I'm focusing just on the depot here for now. So it was used as a station until 1932 was the last time the New Haven / Central New England ran passenger service through here. After that point, it just became a freight only, basically workman's shed. There was a station agent still in there for any, in the 30s and 40s. But after that, it mostly became a maintenance of way shed through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and into the 80s. The last freight train came through here via Conrail. The last mainline freight, anyway, came through here on in 1984, and they pulled up the line, the Maybrook line. At that point, they pulled up a lot of the second main line and a lot of the Maybrook line. The building then was lit on fire in an arson in the late 80s. I don't remember the exact year off the top of my head, but it was in a pretty poor state for a while until the early 2000s, when a restoration movement really finally got going. And now this is the state that the depot is in today. So they restored it back to its original colors when it was first built, its original door styles when it was first built, and so on and so forth. So it's very nice building, as you can kind of see here. So I am not going to be modeling it in its current day iteration, though. I am going to be modeling it how it was seen in the 60s, 70s, 80s. So this is just some kind of overview. Hey, Paul, welcome in. Good stream tonight. Let's click here. So this is the Hopewell Depot Museum official webpage. So this is 1905 in its current position. You can see it's got the curved doors here. That's something I'm not going to model, because when we get through, this is 1930 or 1908, 1910. This 1908 photo is really cool, showing these old steam locomotives and stuff. I'm not too worried about the gables themselves. I'm more worried about the word has escaped me. The word's gone. the supports here. These guys, these big curved guys. I don't know how. I might have to get a 3D design of them and or a 2D design of them rather. In any case, and ask some friends who I know have laser cutters if they'd mind doing a cut for me. Here's a 33 or 35 rather. Yes, that is true. That is true. No, the gable is the overhang. That's what the gable is. Or, the gable is the style of roof. This is the overhang. These are not trusses. These are brackets. Brackets. If they were just little up against, just a little kind of corner piece between the edge, the roof and the wall with no gap, then they'd be corbels. But these are brackets. Very simple word. I don't know why my brain lost that. But the brackets I'm a little worried about. So here we go. So this is the 1947 appearance, and this is basically the appearance that I'm going to be modeling. Well, slightly different doors. So we'll get to. There we go. This is the appearance that I'm going to be modeling. Red siding, squared off doors, one door on both sides. Oops. One door on both sides has just 4 panels. Or is it 5 panels? No, it's 4 panels. 1, 2. No, it is 5 panels. I'm right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels. And it's just a rectangular 4 foot by 6'8". I went and did the measurements. How tall did I measure this door at? Where's my scale ruler? I measured this door at 8 feet. 4 foot by 8 foot doors. And then this one has the upper 2 panels replaced by 2 vertical windows. It still has the rounded windows everywhere. So that's going to be fun to model. Yeah, so this is basically the appearance that I'm going to be modeling as. And my assumption is I think I might have somewhere, I might have pictures of photographs that were taken at a later date after the fire. Actually, there probably are some here. If I jump back to the albums on their page. Abandonment of the Depot. Here we go. Oh, interesting. So that's actually very good to see. Oops. Open image, new tab. So it looks like while the doors in the front maintain their rectangle, or were changed to rectangles, at least one of the doors in the rear here still have this curved head. So I'm going to have to model that now that I've discovered that. This is why reference photos are wonderful. But I have access to a lot because I'm good friends with a lot of the people at the museum. So I have reference to a lot of photographs. It's a very nice looking building. This is after the fire. So 1986 was the year of the fire. There was an arson in the building, and you can see the building got pretty much gutted. It was in a very bad state until in the 90s. 96, they founded the Hopewell Depot Restoration Corporation, and they did a lot of work to raise funds and restore the building. No, this was a genuine arson. This was a legit. They arrested a firefighter who was looking to be a hero. Unlike the Poughkeepsie Bridge, which, well, there's some serious doubt as to the start of maybe not even the start of the fire, but certainly the circumstances where the fire, well, where the fire, how the fire came to be. But so you can see this is the interior of the building, completely burned out. It was a mess. Hey Adam, welcome in. I'm going through some pictures of the Hopewell Depot here before I start building it in end scale. But yeah, it was a mess. But they did an amazing job restoring it. We got some real tiny photos here. There we go. Yeah, these are puny photos. I don't know why the resolution is so small. 150 by 150 photos. But they did an incredible job restoring it to the condition that it is in today, which these photos are still so tiny. Why do we have 150 by 150 photos? Okay, well, you can see the state the building's in today in these photos, which is pretty amazing compared to the burnt out Hulk that it was. And actually, the back door on this side is the museum room, where we have a lot of display cabinets and exhibits and things like that. There, yes and no, Paul. I'll get to that in a second, but let me finish my statement here before I forget. Basically, what I was saying is the back door on this right side of the building here in the photo, we left the top corner of the door and the inside burnt to kind of show the contrast. It's pretty cool. So let me jump back to Google Maps here. So you can see this here is the depot itself. There was the former rights of way. There was the Maybrook line that cut to the northeast or northwest here, which is now the Dutchess County Rail Trail / the Empire State Trailway. There was the Newburgh, Dutchess, and Connecticut, which cut down to Beacon. I think it was the ND&C that cut down to Beacon. Regardless, the one line that cut down to Beacon, that still exists. You can still see the right-of-way all the way through. Actually, drove over this the other day. I drove over that rail crossing. But this is not active per se. This right-of-way, which comes down to Beacon. Here we go, along the creek, and winds up hooking into the Hudson line right here, is technically owned by Metro North. And it is used, basically, if I go back to Hopewell, that line cuts through Hopewell on this angle here, this curve, which was originally the connection point between the two railroad lines. They interchanged track, and there was actually a big yard here in Hopewell. Hey, how you doing, Ray? How's Berea? Or near Berea. So there used to be a pretty sizable yard here. It was actually the base station for pushers. So the New Haven's 210-2s were stationed here to push trains up Stormville Mountain and into Connecticut, which is where the rail line that still exists continues on to. That continues and connects to Danbury, Connecticut, where the other end of the line is. And that, well, actually, does it connect to... Well, I know it connects to Danbury, but I think first it connects at Brewster. Brewster, New York. I've lost track of where I am, but it connects in Brewster, and as well as Danbury, and that acts officially on paper as a way for Metro North to transfer equipment between the two lines, and they use the small yard in Hopewell officially as a way to train Metro North employees on maintenance of way equipment. But I have not seen a train on that line in at least a decade and a half. And I heard that Metro North is looking to abandon it. So, realistically, it's not an active right-of-way, and there's some serious discussion on turning the part between Hopewell and Beacon into a trail. So, but in any case, we're not talking about the abandonment of that line right now. We're talking about the 1970s. So let me transition back here to my modeling screen, and we can actually get to work here. Now that I'm done info dumping. Yeah, hope your travels are doing good, Ray. Hopefully you're able to catch some trains near in the Berea area, because like Paul said, it's a very nice area. Well, glad that I could info dump on you then, Paul. So, like I said, I've got this Northeastern scale lumber. Ooh, nice. Very nice, Ray. I've got this Northeastern scale lumber board and batten siding. And I've got one wall cut out here just because I wanted to test things out and see how it would cut. So that's that wall right here on my scale drawing. I actually went to the depot and I brought a tape measure last summer, and I'm sure that there were people who were walking on the rail trail who were looking at me like I was some crazy person wandering around this building with a tape measure. But I did. I wore my Hopewell Depot shirt, so hopefully people would be a little bit less weirded out by me. But I walked around with a tape measure, and I got all my key measurements. And is it on the other side of this? No. Somewhere I've got my super sketchy, scribbled out drawings of the building, and then this is my neatened up version. That way I can actually read it for my own modeling purposes and drew it to scale and everything, as opposed to just sketching it out. But I wanna do the exterior and the interior, which is what this is, and why I've got the floor plan here. I want to have the two ticket offices, or the ticket office, which is this side, and the station agent's office, which was that side, both as actual interior structures, and have, the ticket windows in the ticket agent office, and the little desk here, There was a desk here as well for the station agent to do his work. There was a telephone in here that I would like to try and model, but we'll see. And then obviously I'm going to put in a few benches in here. And then I want to have they had a little a cast iron stove, so I want to try and model that, and so on and so forth. But I want to do exterior and interior, because I would love for this to become a achievement program model. That's kind of the goal, is that this can go towards my AP. So, anyways, let's get to actual work here. So I've already cut out this wall. I'm going to cut out this wall next, and then I will work on the bay. Let me grab my... This was my attempted board and batten siding using... I used jewelry wire to sit in, basically get glued onto the side, and then I pulled it off after painting it to give it the ridges, but it, Yeah, I bet, Ray. That must be pretty awesome. But the podcast is a little bit important. Just a little bit. Oh, shoot. I just realized I need to... Alright, well, I need to redo this wall. I forgot that this window needs to be rounded. Or at least, I believe. Yeah, it needs to be rounded. Well, alright. I should probably update my drawings to show these windows as rounded. That way I don't make that mistake again. There we go. Being an architect really helps when it comes to knowing how to do these drawings and having skills at scaling drawings and so on and so forth. These also need to be rounded. There we go. Exactly, Paul. Exactly. That's why. Well, I cut this piece out last night at around midnight because I was busy doing other stuff, and I finally was like, all right, well, I want to at least get a feel on how it feels to cut wood and work with wood, and so I did it, and then, well, you know, but exactly, it's good to have tests like that for that very reason, so you don't screw up on the final product. All right, so let's take out my blade. Well, I can use this as a template in any case. No, I don't trust it enough. I would rather actually just measure it out with my scale ruler. Let me just sharpen my mechanical pencil here. And by sharpen my mechanical pencil, I mean rub it on a piece of paper so I have an angle to work with. Okay, so I've got my dimensions here. Let's get my wood in. Let me quickly just get my nice straight line going. There we go. Oh, that's not straight at all. That's not straight at all. Thought this thing was supposed to make straight lines. Here we go. Much better. Okay. So I need a wall that is 19 foot 6 inch. Tell you, for anyone out there who wants to do any scratch building, get yourselves a scale ruler. It's just such a helpful tool. I don't have to do any conversions or anything like that. I just see, all right, 19 foot 6 inch. Make a mark right there. Let's go right here, 19 foot 6 inch. Make another mark. Nice, Adam. Yeah, that's right. You made a bunch. right? Paul, it's fairly similar. I'd say honestly, this is I guess the main difference between the models I've built specifically as an architect, or not an architect, a student of architecture, the main difference between those and these is most of those I mainly designed in the computer, and the ones that I built anyways, the ones that I personally built, they were not quite as detailed as something like this.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Something like this, that's right. Okay. I know you did some sort of rollers, Adam. But so the architectural models that I built were more so for kind of representational purpose. Although I did do one very nice, actual, fairly detailed model, where I included the floor structure and all of it, but this is, yeah. I wasn't sure if anyone was gonna hear that, Ray. I named my Alexa device, I named it computer, so I could feel like Captain Picard when I am turning on and off lights and whatnot.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Yep. There we go. All right, so there's our wall. Let me just clean this up. All right, so now I need to figure out how I'm going to do the curved window. True that. She cannot help me with that at all. Let's get my board bent and sighting out of the way here. Okay. Just clean up that edge just a touch. Okay. Yeah, that'd be nice, huh, Paul? All right. All right, so now I need to go ahead and get the door marked out and cut out, because that's easy. So I need to go, so if this is, so I need to go 3 foot from this side. Excuse me. 3 foot from this side. Pardon me. Foot from the side. There we go. Let me mark that off. Okay, now I need I have a 3/6 door. So let's go 3/6. I'm going about I'm going about this very much like how I would make an architectural model. So I guess there's definitely some similarities, Paul, to your earlier question. 6. 3/6. Let's make a nice straight line. Okay, and now I need, I said I need to make a note of that. 8.0 ahead. There we go. Now I have a note of that. That way I won't forget it. Okay. Right, let's go 8 feet. Mark right here. Mark that as door. Okay, there's that. We got that marked out. Where did I put my phone? Need to check. Oh, there it is. It's hiding under my X-Acto case. Okay, I still got some time. Alright, so let's cut out that door. No. I'm not going to cut it out yet because then it's going to make it more difficult to measure using it as a reference point. So I'm going to sketch out the window and then I'll figure out how I'm going to cut it out. So I have a 5/6 gap between the door and the window. Five, 6. I did not do 5/6 as that marking. That marking is at 6/6, I believe. 5/6. Yep, that must have been at 6/6. There. Five, 6. Five, 6. Connect the lines. All right, and then it is a 4.0 window. Let me get one more marking in just to be safe. Okay, so that's the outer extent of the window. It is 2.6. Oh, that's why I had the measurements of the window on there, but not the measurements of the door. That's why the door wasn't measured. And let me actually pull this down here. That way, when I'm down here, you can actually hear what I'm saying. 2.6. 2.6 sill height. There we go. And a 9.6 head. So here's where I have the issue. I can't remember if the 9.6 head height is that it's 9'6" from the floor to the peak of the hey, nice, Ray. So like I said, I measured this building last summer, so it's been roughly 9 months since I actually went out and measured it. I can't remember if the 9.6 head height is to the peak of the arch or to the base of the arch, and then the arch is above 9.6. Let me take a look here. My guess is I would have measured to the center of the top of the window. So I'm going to guess that 9.6 is the true head and not the base of the arch. I'll take a look at that and see if that looks right. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, I'll pull up the reference photo again, Paul, but that looks about right to me. If I open this in a new tab and because that's an 8.0 head, so yeah. That would be 8 foot, so 9.6 is here. Okay. Confirmed. Well, roughly confirmed. This is not a good reference image for looking at the windows. That's a much better reference image for looking at the windows, so I'll just have this one pulled up here while we're working on the windows. So yeah, if that's 8.0 right here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I would have no problem going and measuring again, Adam. I would not have any problem doing that. I just wouldn't be able. It would mean that I would have to put this project on pause because this week is Holy Week. So we've got Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, Easter Sunday, and the rest of the week I'm working. And then we've got working Monday through Thursday next week, and then Friday going up to Syracuse for Ops Till You Drop. Can't wait to see Paul and Ray and Ed and all sorts of people there. And then I'll be doing the following week, working Monday through Thursday. Friday, heading down to Long Island to meet up with Ed O'Connell and do Island Ops. Friday night, I'll actually be hanging out with Ed O'Connell, with Mark Herrick, and with Don Iris, which is going to be a heck of a ops session. Looking forward to that one. And then I'll finally be free again the following weekend. So, if I had to go back and really remeasure, it would be about a month until I could start going again. But yeah, it's a lot. This is gonna be my first year going Ray, so I'll fill you in the Tuesday after on how it goes. But it seems like it's gonna be fun. Let's see. Art Dutra showed the group Kickstarted digital calipers that you can put your scale. That sounds super helpful, actually. That sounds very nice for keeping consistent, because the issue with using a scale ruler, I guess I should put away this reference image. The issue with using a scale ruler is that there's a good degree of human error that could very easily sneak its way in. So it's, all right. So I've got that drawn out. Let me cross that out so I don't lose track of what needs to go away. And all right, so let's cut out the door first, because that's easy. Carefully just score away at the wood. And let me turn it this way as well so I can Make sure I get a nice even cut all the way across. Let's see. Very nice, Adam. Very nice. Yeah, I need to get a set of digital calipers, Ray. They're super helpful in carrying measurements. And I just gotta... It's one of those things that I just haven't gotten around to getting. Like, oh, so many tools that I just haven't gotten around to quite yet. You know? It might be time for a new number 11 on this handle. Husky. Nice. Sounds good. I'll take note of that, Ray. Thank you. And nice. It's good to have things, you know, little things happening, but it's also nice to have a break. So there we go. So there's our doorway. Let me just clean it up a little bit. And obviously it's going to need trim, which I'm going to do with manual. I'm just going to do manually with some basswood sheet. Or maybe either basswood sheet, or if I can't find basswood sheet thin enough, I might jump to using chipboard, because chipboard's very nice. And if I find the chipboard isn't thin enough, then I'll jump to 1 thou or 2 thou styrene. But I'd like to, if I'm working in wood, I'd like to keep it all wood, just because I think it's going to weather more consistently if I keep it all the same material. Let's see. Some cool tips and tricks. Your buddy Mike filmed for NERX about calipers. Yeah, that'd be awesome if you could find that, Paul. And if not, then I'll take a look for it later. Alright, so now I need to figure out how I'm going to cut this. Can I use my Dremel with a sanding end? Probably. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. It's nice to not work, but at the same time, work is unfortunately a necessary part of our society. Well, let me cut out. Let me cut out this portion here. Let me cut out this portion here with yeah. Okay, let's spin this way. Go. All right, now let me make my cross cut here. Nice. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. You can share in the chat here just like what day it was, and we can find it from there, I'm sure. But I appreciate that. Calipers are really useful. Yeah, dividers. Yes, I definitely need to get myself a set of dividers. Dividers is a tool that we were first shown in architecture school, and I was like, man, I got dividers and 1, 2, 3 blocks were both tools that that I was shown at architecture school that I was like, oh, those are great. I need to get those. And then proceeded to not get those. Yeah, that'd be great. I would love to, Ray. Either Friday night or Saturday night after ops. Both work for me. Friday night, I would otherwise just be hanging out with my brother. So I'd be able to get away for a couple hours. And Saturday, same deal. But Saturday, I would love to get trackside with you. You won't be out there Friday night. Gotcha. Yeah, I guess probably I'll probably be one of the well, I guess not maybe one of the few, but yeah, for sure. We should head out to the yard Saturday night or get trackside somehow. Make sure I get my camera batteries all charged up. I gotta be sure that I have enough batteries for shooting video at the op sessions during the day, as well as shooting photos at night. Tractor Supply, gotcha. Sounds good. Yeah, I've never been rail fanning in the Syracuse area, so I will defer to you, my friend. Alright, there's the main part of the window. Now, I just need... Alright, so let's see. Day 2, 2024. Nice. Oh, yeah, that sounds perfect then, Ray. That sounds like the ideal railfan spot. Where did I put those? Are they in here? I just got a whole bunch of Dremel ends for... Yes. Well, maybe. Are these sanding ends or are these buffing ends? Let me check. If these are sanding ends, then this is exactly what I need. But yeah, that sounds like an excellent railfan spot then, right? We will have to plan to meet up there. Because I'm thinking, what layout am I going to be at Saturday night? Saturday night, I will be at, I think... Who's layout? I think I'm going to be at Ed's, Ed O'Connell's. Or Ed O'Rourke's. I think I'm going to be at Ed O'Rourke's on Saturday night. I think I'm going to be at Drew's Saturday, if I'm remembering correctly. Drew's Saturday morning, or Saturday afternoon. Ed's Saturday night. And, who's oh my gosh, the name is escaping me, but the B&A layout Sunday morning. The name is escaping me. Hey, how you doing, Heath? Oh, my Dremel's not plugged in. Dickheader, thank you. The name was just slipping out of my mind, Paul. Oh, that's right. That's when I'm going to be with you, right? Yes. Looking forward to that. It'll be good to hang out and run some ops with you. Unplug my airbrush compressor because I won't need that right now. Plug this in. Yeah, figure out where you're going, Heath. Yeah, that might be an important thing to figure out. Hopefully before you start driving around up there, or getting driven around up there. Alright, let's bring the speed on this Dremel down a little bit. You know what? This is not. Nice. That's awesome. Drew's is a great layout. I love Drew's layout. I'm so glad that I didn't put Drew. I didn't put Drew on my list, but I got him as a backup, which I'm really glad for. The two that I missed out on that I put on my list this year were Bill Brown's narrow gauge, because I thought that, I mean, that's just the concept of that is super cool. So I missed out on that, and then I missed out on Bruce Ryan's, which I'm not surprised at all about. So I got Dick Ayers, and I got excuse me. I got Dick Ayers, and I got Drew's, which makes me very happy. Bill, then Ed, then Drew. Nice. Good group of layouts there. Yeah. Yeah. Bruce is one that I'll definitely need to get to, but it's not something I was too upset about missing out on, because it's something that I can figure out how to get to. Oh, nice. I'm trying to use my router end here to kind of round out this here. Nice. Nice, Heath. May 3rd. May 3rd. Well, no, that's not going to work for me. I'm going to be... That's because that's the weekend after, right? After... Yeah. I'm going to be on Long Island with Ed. That is a neat opportunity, though. Alright, that's not too bad. I'm sure you'll do fine, Paul. Alright, that's not bad. I'll take that as a starting point, because I can always cover over, like I got a little extra that I nipped out here on the side, and that is something that I think I can nip out for, or cover over with what's the word? My brain is clearly working at maximum capacity right now. It is a big window, Heath. It is a what is it? 4 foot by 7 foot window. That is, if my measurements here are correct. It is quite large. The only thing that I'm not sure of is it may be a foot shorter. Maybe a 4.0 by 6.0 instead of a 4.0 by 7.0. But I'm pretty sure it's a 4.0 7.0. Looking at the reference again. Here, let me, because Heath, you didn't see the reference. So let me pull up the reference image here. So this is a reference image, and you can see that it's a pretty tall window, pretty wide, and trim will help me if I decide it does look just too big. Trim will definitely help me to close it in, but oh boy, Heath. Oh boy. But it's a pretty large window, so. Let me hide this again so we can go back to work. Yes, we do need a banana for scale. Banana for scale. It's the only accurate measurement source, or measurement tool. So my only worry is that I might have made it a little too tall in my grinding. I may have made it a scale of 2 or 3 inches too tall, which you'd think wouldn't be a problem, except for, well, let me test. Let me grab my windows that I'm going to use, because I'm not, for my first real, like, detail scratch build in N scale, I'm not going to be building my own window mulligans and everything. I'm using pre-made windows. Let me grab those real quick, and let me make sure it's not too big. These the windows? Yes. Alright, so these are my I got rail scale models windows here. There we go. Alright, if I put this here. Oh, shoot. Okay, that's an issue. It is... Did I measure wrong? Or did I get the wrong windows? I might have gotten the wrong windows. Hold on, where's that one that I actually... Hang on. I did a test out of... How wide is this window on my little test piece? .36 opening. I don't think that's gonna work. I may need to get some new window mullions. Man, that's annoying. I mean, I'm not too worried. I'll definitely use these. These will get used, but that's really frustrating. Yeah, where's the assembly instructions? Let me... Well, I know I measured the window right. I may not have measured the window pieces. I may have gotten the wrong window pieces. Let me pull up the rail scale web page here. And pull up their window instructions. 'Cause it may be that you... Because I'm vaguely remembering something where you put the one piece in the other piece. But I may be misremembering that, and I think these larger pieces may be the trim. End scale, detail parts, structure details. Nope, not structure details. Oh, laser cut details. That's what I need. Windows and doors. How do I assemble these windows? What am I working with doors and windows? Why am I not smart enough to understand this? Why am I not able to understand this? Why am I not able to wrap my head around this? No, so see, that's the, yeah, so this is the exterior window trim, I think. So yeah, I got the wrong size windows for this building, because this building has 3 6 windows, and these are, yep, these are 2 6 windows. Alright, well, I'm going to have to order some new windows. That sucks. Oh, you know what it was? I know what it was. I think what it is because I bought these at the NSE convention last year, as well as some roof shingles. I may not have actually had the measurements on hand when I was buying these. Alright, well, I may need to get some 3 6 windows. Let's see, they do sell those, right? Alright, well, that's interesting information. Two six, 3 foot, 3 foot. They're all 2 6 by 7, 3. Well, I might be. Wait, 310 by 2 6. That doesn't make sense. Oh no, too light. So 310 by 2 6. That could be. No, that's not right. All of the rail scale models windows are 2 6. So, or at least as far as I can see. So I may actually be making my own windows. That may be what's about to happen here. Well, not right now, but in general. Because I can't. These are cut details. Windows and doors. Oh, wait. There's another page. Nope. This other page is just doors and church arched windows. Alright, well, I'm going to have to look for a new product for the windows. I might also double check the measurements. I might just swing over there after work one day this week or something, just to measure the windows quick. I also should, you know what would be easier, actually? I should email my guy, my contact there, and just ask him for the structural or the architectural drawings of the building, because I know they have them. That would be a lot simpler. All right, well, in any case, let me cut out the other wall shapes. In any case. That way I did more than cut out a single wall tonight that may or may not be usable. Okay, so I have 3 6 wall that has one side at 13 feet, one side at 11 feet. Okay. If I can get these walls cut out, I think I might call it there for the night, because that's really frustrating me that I got that wrong. 3.6. Is that right? Was it 3.6 right, or was it 3.0? Well, 3.6 appears to be right. Yeah, this is 4 foot, which is too big, I think. 3.6 it seems more correct. All right, let me cut this. Hold on, let me double check my drawing here. Sounds like the music ran out. No, maybe it is 4 feet. No, I think it is 4 feet. Looking at this. It's just one of those nights, Paul. It's just one of those nights. I think it is 4 foot. Right there. 4 foot right there. A line. Okay, and then let me do that. Okay. Is that so, Paul? Is that so? Oh, it sounds like my music ran out, which means that it might be time to start wrapping up for the night. There we go. Well, there's that wall. That is... goes like this. Here, let me get my floor plane that I built. So that's the floor plan. So right now we have that wall right here and that wall right here, and they go like so. All right, well, that's fairly good. You know, at least I'm confident in my ability to cut this this wood now, and I'm confident that it is definitely the right, you know, the battens are at the right scale from each other and everything. So, and I learned that the the windows I have are the wrong size, so that's a learning experience. But at least I filled y'all in on kind of what's going on here. With this building, but I promised in the stream chat of NERX this year that I'd be aiming to get this done and bring it up to the NER convention, and I'm doing my best. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up there for the night because it is coming up on 11 p.m. I've got to replace my blood sugar sensor and make my lunch for tomorrow, so I'm going to get going and do that. But I hope you all enjoyed seeing me struggle my way through this. And I hope you enjoyed learning about the depot and its history, and hopefully you're looking forward to seeing me keep doing some work on this. So thanks so much for watching tonight, you all. I hope you have a good night. Some of you I will see in a week or so. Looking forward to that. But for the rest of you, and for everyone, I guess, I'll see you next week on stream. So have a good night, everyone. See you on the next track.